Hello everybody, this is Fernando for the latest aliens and UFOs video. Alright, let's go ahead and let's do another new entry here. This one based on one of your new suggestions. This one continuing the theme from a previous video and a previous suggestion where it was talking about more Men in Black cases or encounters that people have had with them. Had a lot of fun with my last video, so I wanted to go ahead and shared this one here. This one has a little bit of infamy associated with it too, because not only is it a very unique Men in Black case, but also it contains what is considered the most rock-solid photographic proof of a man in black. Very fascinating stuff. In fact, you're looking at this infamous picture now, and I'll showcase more of it later on. But this is a situation that I wanted to share here in its own separate video. It's called the Jack and Mary Robinson Men in Black case. So let's go ahead and let's talk about this fascinating entry here. And I'd love to hear what your thoughts are when it comes to the actual photograph itself. Very, very interesting stuff. So here's essentially what occurred. You'd have to go back to the 1960s, specifically there in New Jersey, and it involves a guy by the name of Jack Robinson along with his wife, Mary Robinson. They were living there in New Jersey. And somewhere along the way, Jack was a UFO researcher. I got the impression that he was more than, let's say, an amateur UFO researcher, that it was more serious for him, like he was knee deep into that stuff, like finding information, uncovering information, making sure that he was doing extensive research, that kind of stuff. Because the reason for it is because shortly afterward, that's when strange things started to happen at their apartment. Too much of a coincidence, right, when it comes to that. And there he is all of a sudden doing this UFO research, and then lo and behold, the next thing that happens is a bunch of strange things at his home. For example, here's what occurred. Whenever they would leave their apartment and go out, again, I got the impression that they were the only ones there, like they didn't have anyone else within their apartment. They would come back and there would always be some kind of evidence, a little discreet, but not enough that is completely hidden to showcase that someone had entered the apartment. Isn't that really invasive, right? This is kind of creepy when you think about it, because while you were away, let's say having some fun or going off to work somewhere, there were who knows who in your apartment essentially looking around. Further evidence was this. There was these case files, these UFO files that Jack had been working on. And then when he looked back, that's when he realized that somebody was rifling through them. And of course, I imagine that he would have asked his wife Mary about it, and she would have said, no, it wasn't her. So again, it just leads to more evidence that something strange was happening. But things took a more higher level when this started to occur. On one fateful day, that's when Mary stated that she started to notice a zombie-like man who was dressed in a completely dark/black suit, and he was there hanging out on the other side of the street from their apartment, and all he would do all day is that he would stare at their apartment. So there he was, classic man in black attire. He had the hat, he had the sunglasses, he had the black suit, and probably a black tie too. But there he was on multiple consecutive days, always in the same doorway, always looking across from them, opposite the other side of the street, and always looking directly into their window. Isn't that unsettling too? That's more on the lines of a stalker level, right? When it comes to that kind of stuff. And so how they were able to capture this photograph that you're looking at now is this. They were either friends or acquaintances with other researchers, two guys by the name of one Tim Green Beckley and another one by the name of Jim Mosley. And then they were able to tell them, in fact, it was Mary that told them about this unusual set of circumstances that were occurring, especially with that man in black hanging out on the other side of the street. So they decided to take a look themselves, but they wanted to do it as discreetly as possible. And so one day they went there. Actually, they went over 3 days. They saw, much to their surprise, there he was right then and there. Maybe they were expecting a little bit of a a bluff or maybe some other type of not a lie, but something like an exaggeration when it came to either Mary or Jack's info. But no, they saw that man in black, and there he was studiously just standing outside the other area, just hanging out, just looking up all day straight up into that apartment. And so they were able to very, very discreetly take that picture. And again, that's what you're looking at here. This picture, again, is considered one of the best rock solid pictures of a capture of a man in black. Isn't that interesting? I've shared this picture before in some of my other UFO videos here, but I had no idea the story associated with it. To me, it just was a guy standing out. It looked like a man in black, but I didn't realize the true history and the impact that this particular photograph had. But yes, there it is right there. You're looking at what is almost undoubtedly an actual man in black, again, just right there, hanging out in the apartment hallway or in that area in front of the apartment, and then doing his thing there. I don't know exactly the details of what happened afterward. I don't know if this man in black later on just stopped going, or if they confronted him, or if something else occurred. But again, that's at least the info associated with the Jack and Mary Robinson Men in Black case. Fascinating stuff, no? If anybody has any more info, anything else I might have missed, then please post those comments below. The fact that this happened in 1968, wow, like over 50 years ago, makes you wonder what occurred afterward. So if anyone has any more info on that, I'd love to hear what your comments are. I'm wondering if Jack and Mary Robinson were able to enjoy anything else as far as getting away from all of this stuff, and who knows, what happened afterward. All right, everybody. Thanks again as always. Take care. Bye.